Hey there, Abiding fam, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey Lee, for those of you who are new, and I am so excited to be bringing this video to you. It's one that's been on my heart to do for a very long time. I think it's going to be really helpful to a lot of you. So in this video, I plan to give you 10 ideas for items that others would probably deem to be trash, but you can think creatively about and be sustainable and keep that item and repurpose it to use in your journal and creatively document your abiding memories. So if that sounds good to you and you are curious what trash is my personal treasure, stick around. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you join the Abiding fam for more content by hitting that subscribe button. Alright, so let's jump in and talk about 10 items to recycle and reuse in your journal. This first tip is especially fitting as we head into the holiday season, and that is gift wrap and tissue paper. Now, it doesn't have to be the holidays for you to receive a gift. It could be a birthday, it could be anything, but when you get that gift, make sure that you are very meticulous in how you open it so that you can save that paper to use later in your journal. Those of you who have seen my flip throughs and journal with me have seen me use gift wrap in my journal already. Here is an example of a really pretty gift wrap that I got around Christmas time that I personally plan to cut out and reuse in my journal. It would be a really neat background as paper, or I could cut out the individual trees or a moose and use them in a really nice winter spread. I also have lots of tissue paper that I've held onto that I think would look nice in a journal. This one's just a really nice striped pattern that I think would look nice as a background layer in my journaling. And then this one is just a beautiful world map tissue paper that I received as part of a gift, and I thought it was so beautiful that I had to save it, and I think it'll look really neat in a travel spread. So those are just a few examples of some tissue paper and gift wrap that I've held onto, but I'm always keeping my eye out for more, and whenever I get a gift, I'm thinking about how can I use this paper in my journal. And while you're holding onto your tissue paper and gift wrap, you might as well also be holding onto your gift bags, whether that's something that's given to you or it's something you pick up when you purchase something. So I have lots of examples of gift bags that I've held onto. This one was gifted to me with my little name there, but it's such a pretty pattern that I've held onto it so that I can use it in my journal. And then these ones are examples of things that were not gifted to me, but that I bought something that came in a bag, and then I kept the bag that it came in. So this one is really pretty because it has a floral design on it that would be really pretty to cut out, but then the actual pattern of it is beautiful as well. Here again, really pretty pattern, and I just love the texture of these kinds of like tissue paper gift bags and how that looks in a journal. So I'm always looking for these sorts of gift bags when I'm buying something. If they give it to me, it's like getting two things for the price of one. It's great. And then I also hold on to bags that are just your generic paper brown bag because it gives the look of craft paper, and craft paper is very popular right now in journaling, and rather than try and buy craft paper, why would I do that when I can literally get craft paper for free? So that would be my tip to you, is hold on to all of that gift wrap, tissue paper, and gift bags for use in your journal. The idea is in a similar vein, and that is to hold on to greeting cards. So I always am holding on to cards that are especially beautiful. Typically, I find that people, when they give cards, don't write anything very sentimental in them. It's pretty much just let the card speak for itself and then sign your name. And in those kinds of cases, I don't really like to hold on to the card long term. I only hold on to cards that are from really significant people in my life or that have really nice sentimental notes. So when it's just a pretty card, it usually gets chopped up and used in my journal, which is great because cards are expensive, and I think people would be glad to know that their card is not just being thrown in the trash. So here is a really good example of a beautiful card that I received for my wedding shower, and it has this gorgeous embossed cherry blossom design on it that I think will just look absolutely beautiful when I cut this out and stick it in a spring themed page of my journal. You can also plan to cut out the words that come inside of the card as well. Sometimes they have really nice sentiments that would look great on your journal page, so always be keeping in mind the pretty script and hand lettering that you can cut out to use in your journal, as well as the designs and embellishments on the cards as well. Here is another example of something much more simple, which was just a little thank you note that was sent to us after a wedding, but it has this beautiful foil embellishment on the side of a flower, and so I plan to just cut out that little piece of it and stick it, you guessed it, in my journal. This next item is another one that you can find very easily for free or that might be gifted to you, and that is brochures or magazines. So anytime I'm going on a trip, I'm always picking up lots of brochures because it's a great way to, one, document that trip because it will take me back to that place in that moment, but a lot of times there's also just really nice pictures in brochures that I can cut out and reuse for other parts of my journal as well. This is a little Franklin, Tennessee guide that I picked up while I was there for a wedding, and in it has this little map of things to do, but you'll see on this page it also has a really cute little illustration of a house. So that's a great example of something that I might cut out just to use on any old page of my journal. So I'm always keeping an eye out for brochures with pretty images in them that I might be able to repurpose. And then of course, magazines are always a favorite of artists to use for collage, but you can do the same thing for your journal. You can cut out magazine pictures and images and words that mean something special to you, or just evoke what you're going for in the feel of a page, and use that in your journal. This next idea is my personal favorite because it takes an item that most people are very quick to throw away and makes you stop and think about it, and think about how you might actually be able to save it, be sustainable, and repurpose it for greater use. And that is junk mail. So when I receive junk mail, I too am very tempted to just toss it in the trash. This is a great example. I received this vote early and safely at home little flyer from, whoever in my district wanted me to vote. And while I was tempted to just toss it in the trash because I certainly received enough of these, I decided to hold on to it when I thought about it a little harder and went, that house on there is pretty cute and would make a really cute ephemera piece if I just cut out that house. In addition, it has a really pretty leaf pattern here that I could cut out and use as a little washi strip. And if that isn't enough, it has a pretty darn cute little stamp on the back that would look great in my journal. Another really good example is this little flyer that I received from my alma mater, and I actually already have cut it out. This one had a little computer that this girl was typing away on that I cut out and used somewhere in my journal. So all sorts of ideas for you to hold onto your junk mail. Think about the illustrations on there or the words and how you might be able to turn junk into treasure in your journal. My next idea is ribbons and fabrics. So obviously you can go out and buy ribbons and fabrics, but there's lots of ways that ribbon and fabric kind of come into our lives by happy accident, because they are part of packaging, or because we had an old t-shirt that got a stain on it somewhere, but maybe we want to save the rest because it's a really pretty fabric. Hopefully you see where I'm going with this. So here are a few examples of how you might do that. Here is some really pretty mustard ribbon that I got with a pillow set actually. The ribbon was wrapped very nicely around my pillows that I bought, packaging them together. And while most people would take this off and throw it away, my mom actually tried to throw it away, and I told her, no, don't throw that away. I'm holding on to that for use in my journal. She was like, ah, yes, of course. So most people would throw it away, but I would encourage you to think about how you can repurpose that sort of ribbon for your journal. And as I said, if you have old clothing that maybe isn't in good condition so you can't donate it, but it has a really pretty fabric so you don't want to throw it away and has sentimental value, you can hold on to it and cut it apart and yes, stick it in your journal. I hope that you're catching on to this rhythm here. Stick it in your journal, save it and stick it in your journal. So here is an old shirt, or at least what used to be part of a shirt, that I have cut out because it's a really pretty floral pattern and I didn't want to just throw it away, so I figured why not keep it and use it later to document some of my memories. This idea is another favorite because, again, it's things that most people would just throw away without thinking about it, and that is packaging. I am constantly holding on to packaging that I know most people would toss into the trash, but has a really pretty pattern on it or an illustration that I think I could use as a background paper or cut out to use as a die cut or ephemera piece in my journaling. So here are just a few examples of the types of packaging you might want to consider holding on to. Here is the backing for some paintbrushes that I got, and as you can see, it has a really pretty pattern that I could just cut out and use as a journaling card. This one is just a shiny black piece of paper, but if I cut out these sides, right, it would make a really nice little journaling card that would look really neat, I think, with white gel pen over it. And then here are some other types of packaging that I've held onto. I love to hold on to really neat food packaging, so this is one that might surprise you. This is a little topper from Kodiak Cakes, and they make like pancakes and granola and things like that, but it has an illustration of a bear on it that I thought was really neat, and if, hopefully, I ever see a bear in person, I would love to see a bear out in the wild, in like a national park or something, and I will be using this on that journal page when I do. So I'm holding onto this so that I can cut out that little bear. Here are some examples of packaging I held onto from our honeymoon. So we went to St. Lucia, as I said, and this is the water bottle wrapper from one of the bottles of water that we drank, but it has a really cute illustration of the Piton Mountains that I can cut out and use in my journal. And then here again is packaging that had the Piton Mountains on it that I plan to cut out. And again, yes, stick into my journal. This next idea is to just hold on to old books. And that can be old books or it can be new books with pretty illustrations in it. Just be mindful of whether or not it actually makes sense to cut up a book. You don't want it to be a really nice copy or belong to somebody else. But in a case like this, this book got all kinds of ruined because I used to have a chinchilla and the chinchilla liked to chew on my books, and did so with this one. So I've been holding onto this one so that I can rip out the pages and use it in my journal. This next idea is stickers, but more precisely, free stickers. So obviously there's plenty of stickers out there that you can buy, and I do love buying stickers, don't get me wrong. But there's also a lot of stickers out there that you get completely for free just because a cafe is offering them for marketing, or they're available at an event, or you get the I voted sticker, or some company is using it in their advertising. For example, my mom gave me these stickers that came with something she bought from Shaper Mint, and there's just some cute little sayings and stuff on here. They were free, and she gave them to me because she knows I'm a hoarder and I keep everything to use in my journal. Alright, my final tip for you is to hold on to old calendars and planners. So you guys know that I use my Flow magazine Tiny Little Pleasures calendar all the time in my journaling. I have lots of illustrations from it that I cut out and stick in my journal, but you can also find things like these. These are like old calendar pieces from this calendar that our landlord gave us. So I've held onto them because even though the actual calendar might be old, I can cut out the top that says March 2020 to document the month of March 2020. A lot of times too, when we have wall calendars, they have really pretty pictures on them, and then the calendar is underneath, and you can always reuse that picture and cut it out to put in your journal. And then of course, old planners is a great idea. This is one that I actually bought for $1 because it's outdated. Nobody is really in the market for a 2019-2020 planner anymore, unless you're like me and you're a journal hoarder. Because it's such an old planner, nobody is going to purchase it, but it actually comes with stickers. So I got all of these stickers for $1. And then again, it has really pretty headers for the months that I can cut out and use regardless of the year. And what was neat about this planner as well is that there's a lot of really pretty papers in here that I can reuse in my journaling. I can cut them out and make pretty journal cards using those backgrounds. So whether you are using an old planner that you yourself have used or you're buying them after they're well overdue on the market and are on super clearance, using old calendars and planners is a great tip for very cheap content to use in your journal that you can reuse and recycle and be more sustainable in your journaling. So fam, those are all of the ideas I have for you on items to recycle and reuse in your journal. I hope next time you're about to throw away some junk mail or your old calendar or planner or the gift wrap that came around a gift from somebody you love, you take a second and you think, can I use this in my journal? I really hope this video has inspired you and helped you to see that anybody can creative journal no matter what budget you're on and no matter what your means, because there are tons of things around you if only you open your mind and get a little creative. I'd love to turn the conversation over to you because I'm sure there are more ideas I personally haven't thought of. So leave a comment down below with an idea of something that you like to recycle and reuse in your journal. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure everybody would be very grateful for those tips. And if you want to see how I actually use these items in my journaling, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, join the Abiding fam, and hit that little bell icon so that you get notified when my future videos come out. And of course, check out all of my other videos that are already here for you to watch. Tons of binge-worthy content here on various playlists. I have a Journal With Me playlist. I have flip-throughs. Tons of content here for you to be even more inspired to get into your journal. And if you want to support my channel and all that I do even more, consider joining my Patreon page. You can become a patron by checking out patreon.com/abidingkelseylee, and for a small donation each month, you get exclusive content, printables and videos, and tons of things over there that help me to keep my channel going. I'm so grateful to all of my patrons, past and present. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and until then, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life full of abiding faith, hope, and love.